Okay, so today we have a A1466 that does not have backlight. So let's see what we're gonna find. This did come from another repair store, so more than likely we're gonna find something a little bit interesting. Finally have internet in the new office. That only took 2 months almost, but stream should be pretty good. We're on fiber, so should be decent. Okay, so if we look over here, notice that we are not the first ones that have been here. So someone's been in the backlight circuit, but my question is why? I wonder what voltage we're getting on backlight output. Is that give us a good idea of what's going on? So if you remember correctly, we have around 3 different voltages that tell us different things. So we have 8 volts, which means it's not boosting, 18 volts, which means it's partially boosting, and 25, 27 volts, which means it's working. If it's higher than 27, most likely you have a bad screen. So let's measure backlight output and let's see what we get. And we get 8.54 volts. We are not boosting. So more than likely what's going on now is a failed backlight driver, and most commonly it's pin 5 that's burnt out. So let's pull this motherboard out and let's get to work. T5. So we're doing pretty well in this new store. The new store is pretty nice, actually. Much better than the old one. It's in a better area. We get nearly twice as much space for $23 more a month. And that's a good thing. So this board looks like it's already been through the ultrasonic cleaner. However, if you do any work in the backlight circuit, running through the ultrasonic cleaner again, I actually had one that I did last year come back for no backlight. I did a backlight driver on it, and I left the flux on, and it ended up actually corroding, and that is Amtech no clean flux. So definitely clean that flux off. It may be okay in some circuits, but the higher voltage circuits like backlights, 30 to 50 volts. So, and this looks pretty good. That actually doesn't look like it's seen liquid before. However, wait a second, here's a clue. I don't think so. So pretty much if we're not boosting, this is most likely our culprit. Another possibility, let's see here. I wonder if our MOSFET is acting funny. Let's see if we have a short. I think we're okay there. So let's go ahead and swap this backlight driver. That's most likely what our problem is. It probably had corrosion at one point, but the ultrasonic the board and that washed away all of the corrosion. How I know this is, you see this water damage indicator, see how it's gone? The ultrasonic cleaner usually takes those off, so that's probably what it is. So let's get to work. Let's get a new backlight driver. Turn on our fume extractor. Probably going to be a little bit more difficult to hear, so I'm going to put the microphone over here by me. Let's see, is the camera blurry? Yes, it is. Let me fix that. There we go. Get a little bit better. So a lot of the times what you'll get is pin 5 right here. It'll look like it's connected, but if you just have an SE400 or something at 10x zoom, you won't see it. But this will actually be disconnected from the trace. So always double check right here, and if it is broken, scrape away this little nub and then run a little jumper right to the pad, and usually they're okay like that. Sometimes you'll have to run it all the way to the other side of the board, but most of the time you're fine with just running to that little nub right there. So I'm not just gonna wick this, I'm gonna put a little flux down. This is a new flux. This is Amtech VS213-A. In my opinion, it really outperforms 559. That's my opinion. And now once we cleaned up that solder, we'll go ahead and wick. That's good enough. Clean this up to make room for I always like to put fresh flux down whenever I put a new chip on. And let's see if I can do this backlit driver without messing it up. I don't know what it is with this chip and me, I always end up messing it up somehow or another. An easy chip too. Usually I'll go to poke it and my hand will move too much and it'll throw it off the balls and stuff like that. So what we're going to do is just heat from far away. I know once I start to see the stuff around it melting, I know we're melted on the chip enough to move in. I think we're good. Have a look. So obviously that's not soldered, but it's some of the balls are touching, so now what we can do is put some flux down, some more flux. And put our air at a higher temperature to finish the soldering. A higher airflow, I mean. And now it's starting to move. I don't know if you guys can see that. This chip is really hard to kill from heat, so I like to use a lot of heat just to make sure it's soldered good. And as you can see, those balls are soldered really nicely, so we're good to go. So we're just going to clean this up a little bit with some alcohol. This may not actually need to be ultrasonic if you clean it good enough with but yeah, we don't know the history, so probably still run it through the ultrasonic just to be safe. Obviously I'm going to check. This cap right here looks a little suspicious. And one side is not even soldered, so we're just going to rip this off because this can't stay. Is my audio working? Suspicious. And one side is... To anybody in chat, is my audio working if you can hear me? So put it in chat too. I sound very faint. Okay. Oh, that's why. Okay. Okay, is this any better? That should be better. I had it on the wrong microphone. Let's go grab a donut. And steal that capacitor off. And the capacitor blew away. It's over here. Ultrasonic cleaner on, warming up. Okay, and let's put this back in the enclosure, and fume extractor's overpowering my voice. Well, now it's off. Let's see if this works. Yeah, you need a filter for that thing if you want it on. Pretty sure I'll have to find out what Lewis uses to filter that out. But yeah, the thing is loud. Come on, go in. There we go. Unplug in the DC in board. And the screen. Let's see if we get backlight. Still no backlight? Let's see. Let's measure our voltage one more time. Maybe I'm missing something. Maybe our MOSFET is bad. Let's see. And here's a quick test on errors, is if you unplug the I/O board and backlight works, most likely you have an issue on SMC lid. In this case, it does not work with the the I/O board unplugged, but we're going to check SMC lid next because SMC lid could be causing our issue. Let's see. So all right. Check one more time. And our voltage is 8.53 still. So let's measure SMC lids. This is an 820-00165. This is a 2015 MacBook Air. And let's see where SMC lid shows up. And it'll show up on pin 1 of the trackpad. Let's see what that is measuring, because if that is some funny value, then we will not get backlight. And that is 3.3 volts, so that's not our issue. So that leaves a couple of things. Let's have a look at this MOSFET over here. Let's look at the schematic real quick. Let's see. So there's a MOSFET Q7706, and this is going to, let's see. Let's see if this is opening. Clear up the mess so I can move the board over. It's also possible something's messed up with backlight EN and stuff like that, so. Alright, so let's see what we get on backlight EN. So on backlight enable we get 2.85 volts, and that does not sound right. It should be 3.3 volts. That means something is pulling it down. And what could that be? So let's see. 8.56 volts. It does appear that it is opening. Or is it? Let's see. So pin 4. Okay, so pin 4 is the gate. No. Pin 3 is the gate, and that's low. So you know what? I think our issue right here, 2.8 volts, and that does not sound right. So backlight EN is going to come from where? So backlight EN is going to come from Q7707. Let's see. The Q7707 is also right here. And that may have been replaced. So what we're going to do is replace everything right there. Is our guess right now is it's probably being pulled down. Let's check in diode mode, see if we get anything funny. See what resistance to ground is. Okay, so we don't have a short there, but I still think that's being pulled down internally from one of the backlight MOSFETs. So we're going to go ahead and replace both of them and see what our result is. because there was some rework in that area. It may have been a bad backlight driver, and the rework messed something up in that area. You never know. So we're going to go ahead and replace a couple things right here. So I'll try and put the microphone closer so I can hear, so you guys can hear. Who is Logo? I don't remember making you a mod. Unless you changed your name. In that case, hello. Another possibility is that our feedback trace is actually burnt out in the board, but that's really unlikely to just burn out like that. Usually when that happens, it's visibly burned, and that's not the case here. I think we have a secondary issue, possibly from the rework in this area. That's why it's kind of nice working on end user devices sometimes, because they're never messed with. Well, unless I'm into some shop that doesn't know what they're doing. Oh, Aaron E. Okay, I know who you are. Did that mystery no backlight MacBook ever stop working? While our board is out, we're also going to check a couple more things on the other side near the backlight driver. Pull the clocks down. So some of you guys know the MacBook logic board support forum that I have, well, that me and several others run. And in the past few days, we've just had so many rule breakers. I mean, posting schematics, asking for schematics, trying to sell stuff, please broing. Banned a bunch of people in the last few days. I mean, rules are rules. I mean, if we provide the support on that group for free, so if we want to enforce a rule, we can. It's like the one thing is, like, I get if someone's learning, but it's when someone blatantly follows the rules. We had some guy that violated pretty much all 3 of the rules in a single day. He started out in the morning trying to sell stuff, and then he tried to sell something else after we deleted the post, and then to end the day, he asked for schematics, and then people linked him to him, and it's like, hey, we can't have that there, because the thing is people say, well, you're being unfair and this and that. Well, if Apple decides they want to come after that, they go after the admins. They're not going to go after the person posting it. They're going to go after the admins of the group. So that's why we're pretty strict on that. I want to keep it free, but sometimes it's just too much of a headache to do it for free. So we're going to plug this in. Let's see if our voltage changed any. Should probably let the board cool, but oh well. And 2.86 volts still, and no backlight. Okay, let's check some more stuff near the backlight driver. Since this isn't boosting, this is kind of weird. My only guess now is for some reason it's not being told to boost. And this is a pretty clean board. We know it's not the screen because the screen would be 50 volts usually, or 0 volts. I hope since having opened the shop has opened more things to the business. Yes, it has. I've noticed that now that I have a storefront, I'm getting way more work. Because even mail-in, because people know that I'm not a scammer now. And what's funny is of how that changes once you move out of, being home-based, that people no longer think you're a scammer. And I don't. It's just weird. So who sees the fault right here? Looking a little more closely, let me see if. Alright, so this is why we need to think before we use our soldering stations. So, or use eyes before soldering stations. See this hole in this resistor? At least I think that's a hole. And that resistor is for backlight PWM, which is very important. So let's see what this is, what value it is. So over here, it's a 33 ohm. Let's see, this would be nice if this was it. It could very well be it. 33 ohms, so that's not it. That's weird. Okay, what's in front of me? What's trolling me? Has to be something in front of my face that I'm missing. That resistor to me still looks a little bit off. I could be wrong. See if we get a pulse on that or something. If we plug that in. I don't think we will because the screen's not connected. Let's just check, see if we have anything unusual right there. Let's poke around near the backlight drivers, see if there's any shorts. No shorts. So now I just wonder if the trace in the board is burned out for, let's see, okay, so what we're going to do, so where pin 5 is going to go on this, it's going to be backlight feedback. So we're going to go over to the other side of the board view, and we're going to have a look. There's a little, look at this, bingo, right here, this is our issue. So, I can't believe I missed this. This is our whole issue right here, and I can't believe I missed this. I just figured they were replacing caps for some reason, so what we have to do now, since the coil, at least I think, the coil, this coil right here is supposed to have continuity to this diode. Or not. Okay, so where does this go? Now, you know what sucks is we're gonna have to run a wire all the way on the other side of the board. This is gonna suck. So now we gotta go all the way to the diode. So basically what that is, it's like a little connection in the trace, and that's burned out. So now what we have to do is, I'm going to see if I could scrape away that little nub and run it around. I don't know if that's the best idea, but I'm going to try because I don't want to lift that chip again. Let's see. Can I get it? Yeah, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to scrape away this nub. I should be able to make a pretty decent solder joint with that. You know, first things first, I'm going to, since I know that got, actually, you know what, that cap's been changed. Yeah, that'll be fine. Yeah, so look at this right here. Someone was here, so we got to take care of that. And that was the issue, so. Use eyes before soldering station. Yeah, Lisa, if you're doing good at home-based business, just stick with it. But in my area, it's like if you tell someone you're a home-based business, they instantly think you're a scammer. But if you have a store, then suddenly, for some reason, they don't think you're a scammer. You can have all the licenses you need at home. You could show them the licenses. You could show them your reviews, but you're still a scammer. There's silicone under here. You know what? Let's pull this chip. I chipped it, as you can see. So that's no good. One way or another, I always have to end up pulling this chip again. Every single time. The chip was fine. The first one was fine. If I would have just used my eyes instead of my quick, then it would have been just fine. Always use eyes before quick. Use eyes, then brain before quick. But hey, it's the end of the day. I'll get a break. So now what we're going to do is clean this up. We're going to scrape away the remainder of that, and we're going to run the wire all the way around that diode. Thank you. Kind of keep in mind not to put too much solder on this because we are going to be putting a chip on top of it. Also keep in mind that there is stuff around it, so don't burn off too much of the coating. See, like that amount of solder is too much. So if you want to know what to do, wait, sorry about that. So, if you want to know how to fix this, do the opposite of what I just did. And why is my camera flipping out like that? And that should be good. And keep in mind the voltage that's going through this. We don't really want this voltage going anywhere it's not supposed to. So we're going to kind of be conservative with our routing. I don't want this touching too many things that could get damaged if that coating were to break, but it's going to be kind of unavoidable. So yeah, if we just go straight. This looks like a monkey did it. Let me get this soldered, and then I'll show you guys. It's enamel wire, it'll be just fine. Let's get a little solder on here. The main concern here is I want the wire to be really tight, because if it's tight, then it has no room to move around. If the wire is loose, it's going to move around. In 10 years, the coating is going to wear off, and you're going to end up with a nightmare. But if it's nice and tight, it's not going to go anywhere, so we don't have to worry. So there is our wire. It's coming from around the backlight driver. And this is probably going to spring out. It's going to be a total mess, and you guys are going to probably laugh at me because I'm tired and, you know. And it goes around to our diode. So let's try and put this on without me screwing it up, which is going to be pretty hard. Actually, what I'm going to do is put a piece of Captain tape. So we're going to put a piece of Captain tape down to prevent it from springing back so I don't lose all my tension. We're actually going to put a few pieces because some is going to get lifted by the heat. So the more places we can keep that tensile strength on, the better. Because we don't want to lose our jumper. So we're going to clean that flux up. And this should turn out just fine, depending on if I screw it up or not. I want that one pin to melt first, so I'm gonna keep a little pressure and see what just happened. I hate doing this one repair. It's fine with the little nub, but when you have a wire like that, it becomes a big pain. Our main concern now is going to be that wire bridging, because we do not want 50 volts on something. Let's see. Yeah, see, that's not too bad. Let's see, did it bridge to the next one over? UV conformal, yeah, we'll coat it after ultrasonic and stuff. looks good. We just gotta float into place since it's not. Most of the balls are touching, however, it's not aligned yet and we need to float into place. This is gonna get fun. So I'm gonna use a lower airflow and a ton of flux. And hopefully our wire doesn't want to creep in or out of the chip. There we go. Come on, go into place better. We're good. It's not the prettiest one I've done. This may work, it might not. Yeah, this looks like garbage. Let's try one more time. Just need to float into place good. I know our wire's probably not good. Our wire's pretty locked in by surface tension now, so it's not going to go anywhere. But we need to make that chip go into place. So we're going to turn up the air pressure a little bit. The air pressure, not only does it help heat it up faster, it puts some pressure down on the chip. I'm hoping we don't lose our wire in the process. There we go. See, and that's better. Still a little uneven, but I think it'll work. It's uneven because of the stupid wire. Yeah, time's at 4:30. Alright, it looks good enough. I think that'll work. Let's try it. And what I was concerned of happened, that we lost tension in our wires, so we're going to go ahead and add some tension to it. I don't know what to say about that. I don't know if to take that, because those solder balls are absolute trash. Okay. So we're going to desolder this wire. I think you get tweezers that are decent enough to grip the wire. Which I've yet to find. I have so many trash tweezers, I need to get rid of them. Alright, so that wire still needs a little work. I'll get that later. Right now I want to test it and see if we get a backlight, because the soldering on that LP855 was questionable. And after that I'm gonna go home. I'll ultrasonic this and go home. Ultrasonic this, clean the store, then go home. Oh, you saw it. Backlight works. I'm tilting at a slant so you can't see the customer label. Or we could do this. Let's connect the battery while it's on, because we're clearly very professional here. That is a working backlight. So that's it for today, tonight. Hope you enjoyed me taking over an hour to solve a simple backlight issue that I should have solved in 5 minutes because I didn't use my eyes. So, that being said, I will see you guys next time.